Okay. We decided that to do a music video still, didn't we? But it's going to be a hypothetical piece.
Right.
So I'm not going to use something that's already got a client. I'm going to sort of go out and use a piece of music that I've already decided on.
Okay.
But it's going to, like, I'm not going to have the copyright for it because it's going to be hypothetical.
Right.
So I'm not going to go out and broadcast it to a big sort of audience. I'm not going to go out and try and get it promoted hugely.
Okay. So it's a track that already exists.
Yeah.
By an existing artist. This is to back up what you're doing for your SSI research as well. Yeah, which is to look at the idea of launching your music video career online.
Yeah.
Yeah, so getting exposure. Right, I get you. And the track is
Daisy by Brand New.
Right, okay. And your aim chiefly is to do what?
Sort of make a music video and put it online and get sort of feelers out there, but not sort of promote it as hugely as, say, I might do if it was not copyrighted. But I'm going to try and get in touch with the band and see if they're alright with me promoting it.
I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah. Because obviously I do want to do some promotion for it because it's part of my research, the whole promoting side of it.
No, and I think that's a sound and professional way of going about things. More often than not, you can contact these bands, and if they say no, you haven't lost anything. But if they say yes, then again, it opens those doors for you. Where do you see this primarily being exhibited? Is it YouTube? Is it?
I think Vimeo, because it's going to be more arty, isn't it? So Vimeo is a better platform for it.
Okay, and is that because Vimeo is more of a? Is it just because it's a better looking thing, or is it because there's more of a?
There's more of a sort of audience for it, and there's more people looking around Vimeo. So, like, people who want to make films and things like that, who have the budgets but need people to actually film it, who have like the creative side. So it's a better place to sort of show it because there's those people looking. It's
right. It's more of a community.
It's sort of known for its people looking for collaborative things on there.
That's a good idea. Rather than YouTube, where YouTube's a bit more anyone can put things on there.
And it gets a bit lost in YouTube, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I think along the lines of what you were talking about, royalties wise and copyright wise, can you think of another perk of Vimeo over YouTube in terms of royalties?
It doesn't have that automatic takedown thing, does it?
No. And I think because bands see Vimeo with a stamp of quality, they often allow you, as long as you credit the artist, and they usually say as long as you credit them and link them to use their iTunes download or Spotify download, then they're fine with that.
Yeah, also I've noticed that there is a previous video for the band's song on there. It isn't so much a music video, it's sort of a test piece kind of thing.
Right. So you're the first out there really to have a go at a music video. So that's a good thing as well. You're not kind of doing a track that's been done 100 times.
Yeah.
You're picking something that's a bit niche. Okay. Stylistically then, what kind of style are you going for?
I kind of like the sort of black and white photographic and slow motion style.
Okay.
Sort of slow pushing and sort of close-ups and things that develop a whole sort of story and a whole image instead of like just a performative piece or a storyline. Have something that's visually stunning and eventually kind of understand it, but you don't get it straight away.
All right, so it drip feeds kind of information to you. So is it plot driven or is it driven by something else?
It's driven by an idea. So
right.
I'm going to sort of drive it with the idea of destruction is going to be the theme.
Okay.
And how like at the very end, I think I'm going to come and I'm planning to like destroy things, like knock things over and smash things, and at the very end I'm going to build a big pile of all these things that have been destroyed and then put a little daisy at the top of it so that it's sort of from destruction new things come out of it.
Like that. It's a bit like a slag heap.
Yeah.
If you wander around obviously local community, there's big coal slag heaps, don't you? And then they're now trees and grasses starting to sprout from them. Yeah. No, I like that. Good. So stylistic black and white, slow motion.
So I'm going to have to shoot at a high frame rate and have lots of light in there. So I'm planning to do it in the studio because you can get a lot of light and a lot like lighting rigs in there, as well as have, you know, if I want a track in there, there's plenty of room for it. I don't just...
And you want to do a high frame rate for the slow motion, so you're not...
Yeah.
So you're thinking of doing it more in camera, the slow motion, rather than just doing purely post?
Yeah. Because I want to have as much information there as possible, rather than trying to get the computer to recreate it.
Great. Yeah, that's good. It's always best to do it. Actually put extra frames in there when you're filming it. Alongside the slow motion, then, what's going to help you preserve the detail in that slow motion, do you think, in the filming of it? So you've got fast frames per second, haven't you?
High shutter speed.
Great. Yeah. So if you've got a lot of movement and stuff like that, high shutter speed with high frame rate is going to give you that detail to play with. So good. So black and white. Why black and white, do you think, rather than colour?
I think black and white sort of, it looks more interesting in slow motion almost. Colour sort of, I don't know, I think there's almost too much detail in colour, whereas in black and white it's very sort of powerful and stunning, but you're not distracted by too many things.
Great. Yeah, so we're kind of drawn down to the detail and the imagery, rather than getting clouded by colour.
I think the imagery and the composition is what I want it to mostly be about. Good,
that's a good reason. What else what are the other connotations we have with black and white sometimes?
Well, I was thinking it's sort of retrospective, like the song is looking back on everything that you are, like all the bad things that you are, but also at the end, you know, it not really mattering.
Yeah, okay, so it's the idea of retrospection, looking back. Oh, good. So is there any artists that kind of give you kind of inspiration for the black and white?
Well, the main video I sort of was thinking of that really inspired this was the Woodkid Iron video. Right. And then I've been looking around at other things like the beginning of Tarsem's The Fall. Yeah. And just sort of noticing little bits in there, here and there, of things that have been done in a similar style. And it just, I think it's really powerful. Really like it.
So what is it specifically about the Woodkid imagery, say, for example, that you like? I know it's black and white and it's got the slow motion, but is there anything else about what you see on screen, or the way it's composed, or the set, or...
Yeah, I like sort of how it's very sort of, either they have it against like very white backgrounds or grey backgrounds or black backgrounds, sort of, so they have all that sort of range of from black to white, but they don't have any colour in it, and it's sort of, I don't know how to describe it. I like the boldness of that.
Yeah, so it almost, I like the black and white, like you said, it draws your attention to the imagery. By having a neutral background, it almost draws your attention to the object in frame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Right. Just trying to think. So you've got the theme of destruction coming through, and the connotations and the metaphors of that.
Yeah.
So the target audience for this, you've alluded to the idea that it's for Vimeo more so than YouTube, which is good because it's more of an arts film-based community. Yeah. So what kind of target audience roughly do you imagine?
I think it'll be slightly, like you said, a niche audience. It will be obviously people that are fan of the band, and also people that are like other filmmakers or amateur filmmakers who are into this kind of thing and want to see sort of other students doing it, to know that they can do it, as well as people who are looking around sort of to see talent that's about, you know. So
you're thinking kind of 16 to...
Yeah.
16 to late 30s, something like that. Is that right? What will be interesting is to see if Vimeo has a target audience statement. They might not have, but they seem to be going very much for a market like you've described.
Yeah.
It's whether they've written that down anywhere to say specifically.
I could have a look, see if maybe they've got some report on their demographics or something.
Because I'm sure what you're saying is correct, because you can't ignore it. But if there's something out there where they've said that's what we're aiming at, or that's what our aspiration is, then that might support your argument further. So that's good. Budgetary constraints then, or budgetary considerations. what you're thinking. You said you've got a lot of destruction and things.
Yeah, I've got a lot of things that need to be destroyed, so obviously I need to buy them with my own money.
Yeah.
And also I need things that need to destroy it, so if I can't source things like hammers and stuff, I'll have to buy them, which I'm hoping I can, but I might have to. And then I've also got to buy things like plastic, almost like tarp for the floor, and first aid kits just in case
someone hits themselves with a hammer. Yeah, okay, good. So you're thinking health and safety as well as budget. So you've set yourself a budget of?
Around about £100. I'm hoping I won't need to spend all of it, but that's sort of the main extreme of what I can spend.
Well, that's a good, healthy, considering simplicity, but the boldness of your idea. Because that's the good thing about it, from what I can see, it's bold, but it's simple. Or seemingly simple. Not simple to create, but elegant, I suppose, is a better phrase. So yeah, that's good. And you may not need that £100, but if you've allocated that, then and you've sourced them, then that's good. Most things you can try and beg, steal, and borrow, to be honest. To be fair, do you think with your mallets and your hammers, the things that are enacting the destruction, do you want them to look brand new, or is there a?
Probably not. I mean, things that people have just turned around in the garage and have got a bit scraped and rusted is fine. And
they tend to have a lot more visual detail if they've got all that rust and the knocks and the dents and the lights bouncing off in the different directions. And I suppose that could work with your theme of destroying things that are seemingly pristine.
Yeah.
You've got this nasty, ugly-looking thing smashing. Could help with your imagery. Equipment-wise, you're going to predominantly use college equipment. Yeah.
I'm thinking about using the 7D for sort of the main shots, and then having maybe a camera or two doing sort of different angles.
Okay.
And then obviously it's better to use the 7D because it's got the battery and the power supply that you can plug in, so it won't just die on you and you won't have to quickly swap it around. And then using the other two cameras because they've got the same sensor size, don't they? So it won't look weird in the edit or anything.
No, good. And if they're all set the same white balance, same mix. In terms of lenses, then, are you talking about smashing big things or is it small things? What kind of lens are you going to need?
I'm thinking maybe having some wide-angle shots, but a lot of close-ups as well. So I think for some of it, like establishing it, and when there's talking parts in the song, I might have like wide-angle slow pushes up to like things, and then when they're all being destroyed, having it a lot closer.
Right. So if you've got a lens that close, what kind of lens are you going to need, do you think?
Close cylinder is probably a macro, which I know the college doesn't have, but someone's already offered to lend me one.
Alternatively, you could hire as well. Yeah. Good. So your budget would cover that, from what I can see. So shooting-wise, schedule-wise, how long do you see it taking? You said studio, so it's a controlled environment. That's good.
I have to obviously take into account all the people I'm going to hire on this. Even though I'm not paying them, I have to sort of work around their needs and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give myself a week to get in contact with people and sort out when they're free and things. And then I'm probably not going to do it for the next couple of weeks because I know there's sort of things going on at the moment with the sound design project that needs filming. So, and also, I don't know, I just feel like if I put it off for a couple of weeks and leave myself to stress over the things now and leave everybody else to stress over things now, then we can go away and concentrate on it in a day.
So that's good. So you're thinking about the commitments of the people you're going to use as well as yourself and managing your time according to that. So that's good. That's healthy. It's kind of saying, right, I'm going to compartmentalize. I'm going to say, right, that's more important now, then I'm going to move on to that.
And then it gives me plenty of time to edit afterwards.
Good.
As well.
Yeah. So you've scheduled that time in there.
Well, what's going on?
That's all right, we can cut it out. Hello.
I don't even know where my phone is. It's one of these huge bags that it just seems like they've got a never-ending bottom.
Chris looked good, though. Probably going Chris, you finished. Okay.
Yep.
So you've covered the budget, you've covered the schedule. The schedule, the spirit of what you're talking about is about balancing it with work commitments and other people, your crew's work commitments as well. In terms of performers, are you seeing any people in it, or is it purely...
Maybe like one person, but purely most of it will be focused on the objects.
Right, so the emphasis is on the objects themselves and their destruction.
Yeah.
So is it like hand models and things like that?
Some of it might be hand models, and also while the talking bit's going on, I might have someone holding a radio or something.
All right, okay. I like that. So it's all more abstract imagery still.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've covered budget, covered schedule. You've touched on the health and safety ideas. You touched on the idea that you need tarpaulin to protect the floor and things. What about protecting people that are smashing things? If you can put into consideration.
I need to probably get something like safety goggles.
Yeah. So protect people's eyes. What else?
Maybe gloves.
Yeah.
If people are like, once at the end we're sort of pushing things together, they'll obviously need to have gloves to handle it, and gloves to handle it when we take it all out and things like that.
Good. You've talked about the need of equipment, and you've talked about macro lenses, the need to either hire or borrow, but it looks like you've already sourced that already, which is good organisation. What about, you say you're going to use multiple cameras. You said the 7D for your main camera.
Yeah.
And then what other cameras would you use to match the sensor size? Was it again?
I'd probably either use the 550 because I know the college has got some, and other people have got some, and I've also got my own 600D, which I might use as well.
And is that the same sensor size?
Yeah, it's the same sensor size, it's just got an articulate screen.
Right, okay. So you sorted equipment-wise there, that's good. Your themes are coming through very strongly, your inspiration's coming through very strongly. So lighting kits, but obviously because you're in the studio, you're going to have all the standard lanterns that are inside there as well. So
I might need your help or another tutor's help on the day to work them, because I've not had as much experience with those.
Yeah, okay.
As other
or you can speak to students that have spent a bit more time with the mixer. But for the most part, you could probably use the freestanding lanterns. Yeah. If you've probably got enough power there, considering the small thing that you're shooting. And we've talked target audience. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I need to just really to get a full picture of it. You mentioned multi-cameras. Why did you want more cameras than one? Just
because it's just easier when things are getting smashed. Obviously, I won't be able to refilm it once things are broken. And there's only a certain amount of things we can break.
So a bit like if you're filming an explosion, big explosion scene in an action sequence, you're filming with multiple cameras because you're not going to get a second chance.
No.
Yeah, good. Right, yeah, that all makes sense to me. So I suppose the next thing would just be to add just a detailed week-by-week schedule in here.
Okay.
Just literally say, so I know quite clearly from how you're talking that you've got it organised, you've got it in your head when it's going to be going. But if you could just do that as a simple table, week, action per week, and what's going to happen, then at least that says you've also got a picture in your head with the weeks you've got left when that's going to happen. Yeah. And I've got a picture pictorially of what your planning is. So I can idea, we can then, obviously you can book studio equipment against that, but if in doubt, we can see what you're doing as well. Yeah. You can share that information, and it's easy to share that information out to the people you're going to use as crew as well. Okay. But yeah, this all seems really good. So yeah, I think that's a solid idea. I'd go ahead with that. It meets all the criteria of what you need to do. And it lends itself, it's got all the different factors in there. You've got health and safety, budget, you've got organisation, you've got the need to get a crew together, a cast together to a certain extent, and find a lot of various props and costume and manage a budget. So yeah, I'd go ahead with that.
Okay.
Look at it.